afternoon. I'm Mateus, and here with me we have Vinicius and Alex. We are from Sicredi. Sicredi is a credit union from Brazil, and we are here today to present to you our business case, the use of ClearScape Analytics to improve our model processing for predicting the client's income. Let's start with challenges. Every company has challenges. And I think the main one is to increase the profit. And in our case, is to offer the best financial solution. We are living in a digital evolution. And digital evolution requires less paperwork. And also avoid the risk of fraud. In terms of modeling, as a data scientist, we are always trying to be close to the business area. And the income information, it is a cost. So we are always trying to minimize the dependency of the specialized bureaus. And also, we are talking here about a supervised model. And to train the model, it's important to have the most accurate information, the most accurate target variable to train your model. So this is why it's so important to improve the confirmation of the income information. And also increase the accuracy of their model. Just to give you the context of the Brazilian macroeconomic scenario, our GDP is increasing, but it's increasing in a slow pace, as you could see. Our basic interest rate is in a high level. The inflation seems to be under control, however, still in a high level and affect wages and the income. The delinquency of the financial system in Brazil is around 4.4%. At Sicredi is 2.5%. The Brazilian unemployment rate is around 6.5%. However, from the portion of the population that are working, almost 40% are occupied in an informal way. They don't have a way to prove their income. And according to our central bank, close to 15% of the adult population is unbanked. So the income information is expensive if you need to purchase this from the bureaus. It's volatile, especially due to inflation. Sometimes it's not informed, and sometimes the clients, they don't have the income. And still, to train your model, to have a trusted model, you need to confirmate your response to train. So we have a lack of confirmation. And this is why it's so complex to estimate the income by modeling and make business. Like I said in the introduction, we are from Sicredi. We have national presence in Brazil, and here we have some numbers. Our credit portfolio is around $40 billion. Our system has 104 credit unions, over 2.7 thousand financial centers, over 8.4 million clients, and more than 40,000 employees. And here with me, I will introduce Vinicius. He will explain about Sicredi, Teradata, and the architecture.
Hello, my name is Vinicius. I am Enterprise Architect at Sicredi. Our journey with Teradata began in 2014 when we started using 2 Teradata appliances in our local data center. Initially, the focus was using the Teradata to enterprise data warehousing. In 2021, we migrated the Teradata to the cloud, Vantage Cloud Lake. Our architecture currently integrated with different data platforms in our architecture, such as Denodo, SAS, Pentaho, Power BI, Databricks, and Oracle Data Integrator. All these solutions are using the Teradata to consume and load data. Today, the Teradata, sorry, Mateus, come back one slide. Today, what was slide?
Okay.
Sorry. Today, the Teradata delivering over 20 million queries per month with 19% in under 2 seconds.
Woohoo!
We exported over 50 terabytes per month that solutions like Denodo, SAS, and Databricks. The main challenges with our architecture is data transfer cost between we have cloud and local data center. Solutions like Denodo, SAS, and Oracle Data Integrator are still located in your data center. To address this point, we are working to improve query optimization in Teradata and using the power of Teradata to execution query in database to minimize cost. It's okay.
Thank you. Yeah, now you know our challenges. You know the Brazilian macroeconomic scenario, and you know us. So now let's deep dive in our business case. Let's start with the before scenario, before ClearScape Analytics. We had an uncalibrated model, codes with low performance, no control on data transfer, and this is a hot topic nowadays, and a limited target group of clients being scored by this model. It was necessary to rethink all the process. And with Vantage Cloud, the after scenario, now we have coding independence, high performance queries, customized model, and we were able to expand our target clients that are being scored by this new model. And we've done all that with a low learning curve. With Vantage Cloud, the trade-off is speed processing and cost savings. And in the next slide, I will prove it to you. Let's think about a model that is already deployed, is running in production. In the before scenario, we were just querying the data from Teradata, and then bringing the data from the cloud to our data lake to do the data wrangling step. And at this point, we had a massive data transfer from the cloud to our data lake, 7.7 giga. The third step was the model processing and getting the predictions. And the fourth step is delivering to the business systems. Just to keep in mind, the model output file size at the end of the process is 1.3 giga. The processing time for the first 3 steps was around 2 hours and 10, 2 hours and 30 minutes. And now I will show you the after scenario with Vantage Cloud. We are inside Teradata now, doing the data extraction, using in-database analytic functions for future transformation. We are creating views now, not data frames or tables. And our model is CatBoost. CatBoost is similar to XGBoost model. The difference is that he is able to use categorical variables as an input. We are running our model with bring your own model functionality and getting the predictions and then delivering to the business system. Here, we are just, this is the first achievement. We are just transferring from the cloud just 1.3 giga. This means that we are saving in data transfer around 83%. And our best processing time for the first three steps was just 6 minutes. This means 25 times faster model processing.
That's awesome. Awesome.
And here we have an important message from this slide is that we are applying the best practices of data science with performance. Here are a bit more details about in-database analytic functions. As you could see, helps you to minimize the data movement. You can run analytics in all your data. Obviously, it's secure, it's easy to do that, and we have performance. And about bring your own model functionality. You can build your model with any tool, in our case, Python, and then export to ONNX format. And finally, score your data set with the Teradata engine. This is my last slide. By rethinking all the process, we were able to offer an even more personalized and targeted financial solutions to our clients. In the first month, we had a gain in limits consumptions around 29%. But also, we were able to work in our model, and we improved. We are using now verified income information to train the model. And we are using updated databases also to train, and especially to avoid the inflationary period that we are often living. It was necessary to reconstruct 3 variables, and we expanded our target group of clients that are being scored with this new model. In terms of performance, these 2 numbers means that we are decreasing the margin error of our predictions. In other words, we have a better model. In terms of speed, 25 times faster, and we are applying the best practice for managing analytics. In terms of data transfer savings, 83%. We are scoring now close to 2.3 million clients with this new model. This represents an increase of 32%. And in terms of potential savings with the bureaus per year, our estimations are around $650,000 per year. Thank you very much.
All right. There's a lot. You want to join him back up on stage? I'm sure people are going to have some questions about the architecture. I have one initial question. Can you go back to a couple of slides? Yeah, let's go back. What I want to know is how often are you scoring in the before, this one, yeah, this is great, that 7.7. How often were you running this process?
Every 3 months.
Every 3 months?
Yes.
How often are you running it now?
Every month.
Every month?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe more than one time a month, or?
Yeah, our variables that are being used are monthly capturers. So
yeah.
We are running just every month because we will update the model just once a month. This is our necessity.
Great. 25 times faster. Fantastic results. There's another thing in here that I want to point out. How many people are familiar with bring your own model? Raise your hand. Bring your own model. Okay, bring your own model it's a fantastic opportunity for anyone who builds a model in whatever your tool of choice is, and then leverage it to take advantage of the platform's parallel processing power, which is what you guys have done. How many models are we talking about? Is it just one specific model for income? But how many are you guys using? And talk to us a little bit about the bring your own model process you guys used.
In this case, we are using just one model.
Okay.
But now we are working in the 3rd generation of this model that we are going to split in 4 and using the same approach to estimate. Okay.
Questions around this or even the architecture for this team? There's a lot of goodness here. Yes? Here, I'll get it.
Thank you. So just the transfer part on the top there, the initial 7.7 gig transfer, how long did that take alone?
In terms of time?
Yeah.
Let me check. It's the biggest part, I think, almost in the before scenario, I think almost 40, maybe, no, more than an hour, just to bring the data from the Teradata to our data lake, more than an hour, I think.
Okay. Subtracting that out, I mean, you're still talking about quite a significant time savings for doing the data wrangling and whatnot between Databricks and Teradata. A direct comparison of how long it takes to process these models.
Sorry, I couldn't understand.
So
Could you
I'm trying to
repeat?
subtract out the transfer time
Okay.
to determine the difference between how long it takes, say, Databricks to do analytic processing versus what Teradata would do. So it's not really 25 times if you take out the transfer portion, if you know what I mean. But there's still an improvement, right? Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So that's what I'm curious about, what that metric would look like. Yeah, 1-to-1, the difference in the analytic processing time. Yeah.
Do you understand the question?
No, not
Okay.
sure.
But you still need to counting the data transfer time because that's exactly the time that you take from end to end, right?
Right. You can't really take it out.
You cannot take it out because in database processing, you eliminate the data transfer, right? So that's a saving that you're already seeing. So, I mean, for the user perspective, you're going to want to see end to end. How much did I actually spending during this process, right? I don't care if you are using on the data transfer or you are doing, the modeling and generating the final results. All I see is from the beginning to the end, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if you want to go to detail, it's like you're doing data transfer, your networking speed involved as well. So if I have to put a network in there, I can make it faster, but that's an extra cost, right? So, I mean, I just don't see that you can separate those in terms of your throughput.
Yeah, I can give you more context about this part. Is that in the before scenario, we're just bringing all the data, all the columns in our data sets from our data source. We weren't treating the data. We are just bringing the data with some fields, and then in the data wrangling step, we are able to separate the queries and then do the conversions, treatments, and etc. to prepare the data to enter in the model. In the after scenario, we are using all the transformation, we are applying all the transformation inside in Teradata, using in-database analytic functions to remove missing, treating, creating the variables that will enter in the model processing. And also creating views. We are not bringing the data from the cloud to our local Python. We are just creating these views to enter in the bring your own model processing. So this is why we have the gain in terms of data transfer in that part there. I don't know if it is clear, my explanation, but this is what we've done.
Yeah, that's clear. Other questions? Yeah. Ask him something hard.
So is it safe to assume that the original model was built within Databricks, like PySpark or something? So how difficult was it to take that model from Databricks and have it run in Teradata? I mean, because you had to have changed something, right?
Yeah, it was necessary to do a few adjustments in the code to connect with inside, to enter and process the data inside Teradata. Few adjustments, not complex, but we needed to learn. The views strategy was other thing that we needed to learn too. And to call the function for bring your own model is also a small change in the code that was necessary to do. But it isn't a process that is costly in terms of development. It was
So like days, weeks, months?
yeah, a bit. We had at that time one data scientist work in this project, and I think it was like maybe a week or two.
Great. Great. Good question. Other questions? This is rethinking, like you promote, in how you go about your analytical life cycle. My question is, what else has this allowed you to do? Like, what are you thinking about now, or this freeing up budget, freeing up time, freeing up compute? You know, what are you guys thinking about doing next? Like, what is this opened up for you?
Yeah, our next step is to use genetic algorithm to train the hyperparameters of the CatBoost model. So, because in this version here, we weren't able to change the hyperparameters and optimize them. So we are working in generic algorithm to estimate the hyperparameters and also split in 4 models according to the income of the client. So, for instance, we are trying to divide in $0 to $1,000 per month, $1,000 to $5,000 per month of income, and split in different categories to make our models more precise to predict the client's income according to this range of income.
So income bands, right?
Yeah.
And being able to segment them. Okay.
Yeah.
Great, great. We have another question over here, I think.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Maggie. I'm from modeling team, so I have a question about model. So one question is how good is the model result, because we all know that it's very hard to predict income.
Yeah.
The other, a little bit detailed question is that how many predictors we use in this modeling process. Thank you.
In terms of variables, just a question, how many predictors?
How many predictors we use in this model?
I don't understand the number of predictors. Is the number of variables that are in the
variables.
input?
How many
52
variables?
variables in this case.
How many again?
52.
52. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, we have this process before the model we always trying to categorize and select the variables that are important to our models, especially when we are talking about a greedy model such as XGBoost or CatBoost. So we are always trying to take care and select the necessary amount of variables. So basically we are using informations from the external bureaus in Brazil, credit, overdraft information, checking account information, registry information in this model. And basically this is the main groups of variables that are entering in this.
Any validation?
Yeah, this model is not a regulatory model.
So the question is about validation, yeah?
Yeah, validation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, in terms of performance or in terms of a validation team? Because this model is not a regulatory model, so we are able, it's a business model. We are able to work and we don't have a compliance team analyzing and criticizing the model. We're free to do our own check about the performance. In terms of performance, it's really hard to measure the predictions, but these two numbers means that comparing the before scenario, the former model, we had a gain in 17 points percentile points and 12 percentile points. This means what? We are increasing, for instance, the last line here, the bottom line. We are increasing the number of clients with predictions with margin error less than 10% when compared to the former model. So we are increasing the number of classifications inside this bucket. So we are close. This is the way that we've used to measure the performance before and the after. And in terms of when we have a bigger group, for instance, 30% of error margin, we have a bigger increase when compared to the former model too. So this is the way that we are measuring the performance and comparing the former model with the recalibrated one.
That was a great question. Thank you. Other questions?
Thank you. Hi, Kevin Portis, Wells Fargo Bank. On that previous slide, there was, I'm just curious, going from the data wrangling in Python to the in-database, like, did you find any challenges when that conversion, or what that process looked like?
Challenges in terms of coding, or challenges in terms of mindset and talking with other areas or something like this?
I guess parity in being able to do what you were doing in Python in Teradata, and then I guess, generally. Yeah.
Because it's important. We have in the before scenario, we are running Databricks with the clusters of Databricks processing the data. But here in the after scenario, we still have the notebooks in Databricks. We are just using the power of Teradata, connecting and running everything inside. But the notebook with the codes still in Databricks.
Got it. Okay.
It's just the interface that we are running the code. Just
okay. So
this is why we are presenting in orange here, because it doesn't matter the notebook that we could do that in SAS if we have the ability to do that, but we are running in Databricks. But like I said, the processing power, everything is inside Teradata.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have a question not related to your model, but what other workload runs on your Vantage Cloud?
The workload, sorry?
Yeah, what other stuff runs on your Vantage Cloud right now? Is it just your model or something else also running on the Vantage Cloud?
Okay,
yeah.
no, this is just our model
Yep.
in our workload, so it's a separate workload.
Okay.
I don't know if your question is about if
What
we
other
have,
stuff is running
No,
on
no,
there?
running in parallel, something like this?
Yeah.
No, it's just this model. We are running manually. I don't know if, is this your question?
Overall on the Vantage Cloud, do you have any other applications that runs or just this model?
No, this model is like a lone model. We have other models in credit risk area. We have like 25 now models that are running, but this is a totally separated model.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Question, thank you. Other questions? What about anything for around the infrastructure that they've presented? Can we go to the infrastructure slide? I have a question for the audience. It's going to be rhetorical, so I'm telling you ahead of time. But everyone's tech stack, infrastructure, architecture, marketecture map looks different, right? The point is that you can all relate with probably having multiple modeling tools and capabilities that you're leveraging all at once or trying to, right? Would everyone agree with that? Multiple tools for running your analytics? Yeah? Nobody? Everybody. Okay. All right. What I'm wondering is, do you think without bring your own model, and the reason that I like bring your own model is because it's agnostic. We don't care where you develop your models. It doesn't matter. What we want to allow you to do is take advantage of that investment and bring it into where it can be scaled and outperform in other ways to process your models. Is there any others that you are looking to bring over and or develop? Are there other gaps of information that would be beneficial to the business around your consumer base that you guys are looking to generate?
Yeah, in the credit risk area, we are a heavy user of SAS.
Yeah.
So, and we are revising, and we are taking a look into our SAS codes and trying to convert to another platform to process the data. So, but 95% of our models, they still in SAS. We are using Teradata as the main repository. We are using the power of the engine of processing that Teradata allows us to use, but we are not running every model, all the process inside Teradata using SAS. So we are studying a way to migrate this process to Teradata.
Yeah, we have a lot of customers that are looking and doing that effectively. So I'm glad to hear you guys are taking a look at that opportunity too.
Yeah, it's a very complex because they are running since, I don't know, years.
Sure.
And they are very complex, thousands of lines of codes in SAS, and we are trying to improve the models, especially in terms of performance. And this is a challenge for this year and next year.
Okay, so you got some initiatives around that. Okay, to simplify, basically. Okay, good. Other questions? Okay, we got a couple more hands.
Okay. Since you move your analytic from the tools inside the database, right? So all the processing powers inside the database right now. So what is the additional capacity as a part of consideration when you're moving to the Vantage Cloud?
I'm a business area, so for me, everything is transparent. And in my perspective here, we don't have the access of the process or exclusive way to process your model. We are using what our tech team is providing us as engine and parallel processing power.
Okay,
So
that's fair. So this question probably is for Teradata to answer as well, right? What additional capacity when we need to consider bringing the ClearScape to the Vantage Cloud versus what we existing the Teradata platform?
That's a great question, but I think it's very individualized based on your context and what we're transferring. So it's unique to each, but we'd love to talk to you about it. Great. There's another question back there. Okay.
Could you jump back to the metrics slide there, please,
Okay.
Matthias? Or should I say forward? The numbers, 25x? Yeah, build that out. So as a credit risk analyst, I imagine that you're checkpointing everywhere that you go. My question is, talk to us about your path to innovation. As you were framing this out, what were the success parameters that you chose to define? How did you get started? Did you do a POC? And I'm specifically talking about when you made that decision, the one Kevin asked about. What was the trigger that said, we're not going to move 7.7 gigabytes of data anymore, this is too costly? So what was that trigger, right? And did you do a POC? What did that look like? How long did it take? And then what were the success parameters that you defined? Can you give us some insights on that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to repeat those three questions because I'm trying to keep track myself because that was great. I'm like, okay, I think I got
Sorry,
it.
Katrina,
So
I know I talk
one,
fast.
how did we start? What made you do this or take a look
Yeah.
at it?
Yes, what
Two,
was the pain point?
Yeah. Two, what was your process to determine that this would work? Yeah?
Yes,
And what
did
was
you
the
POC it?
What
Correct.
was the third piece?
Success parameters that you defined along
Success
the way. What did you
criteria.
have to hit
Perfect.
in order to make
Okay.
sure this worked?
Great, thank you.
What is the first one? I'm not kidding.
What made you do
Oh,
this?
okay,
Yeah. What
No,
was...
I'm not kidding. Yeah. Well, we are always testing. Here we have our data engineer, and we are always testing. We are always defining because we have several tools to process data in our bank, and the discussions are always based on opinion. This technology is faster. This is not. And we are always saying, no, I'm agnostic. I want to use the better solution. I don't care if it's one or another. We will always, what I'm trying to say is that we are always testing small pieces of queries. Because if you think, I'm going to do this, I'm going to create a model and run everything just to test, it won't work. And what we are doing is take this query or two and test in SAS from Oracle and check the time. And then run another query using SAS, but querying the data inside Teradata and using in database analytics and comparing. Just a small process, small tests, and check. And we've done that comparing SAS, Databricks, and SAS with Teradata last year. So this is something that we are always do. We are always doing because we need to do the fair test to compare. And then we will discuss about the best technology that we have. So we've done that in a preview work to do this case here. And what is the second? I think maybe 3 or 4 months. Yes. 3 months.
3 months.
Right.
And yes, it was a POC and very formal with success criteria very specifically.
Yeah.
To performance. Good questions. You win that prize. Okay. Other questions? Go ahead.
So my question is that is in database analytic functions, is that same as in memory?
Same as?
In memory, meaning that do you have to load all that 7.7 GB of data that you're trying to run your model on? Is that loaded in memory?
I don't
No,
know.
we don't save in memory.
To be able to do the
We
analytics?
create temporary tables.
What's that?
Yeah, we create the temporary tables and you post use in your model.
So my question, the reason behind that question is that, are there any limitations on how much of data that you can run if you're trying to do the in-memory analytical run for that result set to be generated? And then is there any limitation on the amount of data that you can process your model on at any given point?
I am not aware of a limit of
Okay.
the data that it can be ran on. In fact, I would ask you guys try to test us, pressure test it. With how much data do you want to run? Let's try it.
So I'm just like maybe,
Seriously?
let's say 500 terabytes.
Don't see a problem with that. Do you, Mike?
Okay. And then the second thing is that the timing is great, but what is the cost of it? If I'm gonna, let's say if I'm running realistic fraud models near real time, and then if I have to kind of, run the models quite
Regular, on a regular
quite
basis.
frequently, right?
Yeah.
And then run humongous volumes of data. Let's say kind of on an average, we have about like 700 terabytes of fraud data. That is probably stretching it, but let's say if I want to run 500 terabytes of fraud data subject through various models, not one, multiple models, performance is great if you don't have any limitations on the space, in-memory space and all that. What is the cost that I'm talking about?
That's
Do
a
I have
great-
to spin off multiple nodes?
Yeah,
or-
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
But we can look into that and take a look at your scenario specifically to look at what it would be. But I couldn't speak to that right now.
Sounds good. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
what I was curious because timing looks very tempting, but at the same time,
It's extremely tempting.
yeah, but if I have to shell out a lot of nodes to be able to process that much of load on an ongoing basis or a continuous basis, what am I talking about in terms of
Sure.
costs of sustaining that?
Those are some great questions. Let's talk about them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions? Did you guys like this use case? Yeah? Helpful, right? Talking about really most of the analytic lifecycle and how you guys have optimized it for this one specific use case that's very valuable to Sicredi. Great. Okay, survey time. I need your help. You guys should have on your app in Teradata a survey that should have popped up for you. What I would appreciate is you answer that survey and help us thank both gentlemen from Sicredi for their time and what they've shared with us today. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.